NEMA is Malta's only energy management agency. It also gives input to the national policies for execution to policies, for example, the National Renewable Energy Action Plan. We carry out a number of energy audits and related services, the financial aspect of which are the most potential, in which have carried out a pilot project, where these people have benefited. So, pilot projects on clean transport initiatives, as mentioned in of the tourism industry. As you all know, the largest chunk, which is about 25%. So the fluctuation in the prices of crude oil would seriously undermine the viability and the financial stability of the entire tourism industry.
Western is always saying we're now below 4, as an average, 4 kilowatt hours on the RO plants, average. But Chirkawa, and particularly in Pembroke, they've got much lower figures for borehole water. They're usually quite low, 1 to 2. So how did you end up with that 6.6?
So, could it be because you're including the water that is not billed? Because you said delivered.
Exactly. That's a very important
because
point.
Because we have something like, I don't know, 30–40% that is lost.
So, yes, it's true.
Stolen, perhaps, but not lost. I mean, the WSE has had a long campaign from the middle 90s to now to cut down losses in the distribution system. And as a result of that, the amount of electricity per cubic meter of water produced has actually come down. Have you any idea what's happened to Bahria proposal, which was put out in 2009 with Sikal, Baida and Harford? How far is now?
So it's very clear that presently let's put it like this, division of the previous administration of the previous government contribution to renewable energy sources, but I think the best people who would speak about this matter would be the people from the Ministry for Energy and Conservation of Water. I've invited a number of people from the Ministry for Energy. None of them told me that it went, and I don't know whether there's somebody from here who comes from this particular ministry. Also, the concept of having the electrolysis of seawater, which makes part of the chloride, sodium hydroxide, the production of chlorine, and the energy curve or the energy demand.
We are being incubated at the University of Malta, at the Takeoff Incubator in Nisida. We've been there since February 2014. And our mission is we develop and we service companies working with different players, companies or institutions. We develop ideas and help them to take them to market. Bringing in resources from other parts of the world, like as a cost item in our budget, but also as a revenue attractor. Okay, so they're trying to create value out of the investment they're trying to do with the Chinese, and service other countries in the region or in Europe, in Africa, and so on and so forth.
In my days, the Institute for Energy Technology of the university came up with a course for solar water heaters with the help of the university. But it has to be planned, it has to be focused, and it has to be pulled through. Malta is facing serious problems in the supply of fresh water, primarily because of contamination of the ground, and as we rely on groundwater, that is in due course, in 20 years' time or so, will mean that we have to purify the groundwater. We have, of course, reverse osmosis plants that generate over half of our water supply, but they on that rely on the use of electricity. Unfortunately, in recent times, projects related to water supply were rather lopsided. Instead of avoiding the runoff of rainwater, and the channeling of the rainwater in valleys, we have built a stormwater relief tunnel system that again will cause problems with siltation of the Marsamxat harbour and probably the north coast of Malta. If you look at the geography of Malta, you can easily conceive a system of small dams in all the valleys to collect or rather hold back sudden downpours of rainwater. And as it is, with the development of our climate, we are seeing already that when it rains for a short period, intensely, with a lot of runoff.
LakeAdmin project represents a good opportunity for Malta to make a point on the state of water, especially inland surface water. And with the implementation plan for Chadwick Lakes, we have been able to design strategies for the environmental protection and the restoration of this natural area. The implementation plan aims to design a set of strategies to protect and restore the environment of Chadwick Lakes, which are now in a vulnerable state because of the quality of the water and other kind of issues related mainly to floods and accessibility. So the implementation plan was a very challenging task because we tried to, with a closer look at the area and its needs, to evaluate possible strategies and interventions that spans from water treatment with plants and natural systems to other techniques that prevent floods, and also on a point of view of site management. So we've been trying to think how to develop the place from usability point of view, so make the place more available for tourists, so implementing new pathways and also how to deliver better awareness on the region while promoting the natural features that are unique of this area.
Horizon 2020 is an 80 billion euro program that covers a range of thematic areas, including environment, which includes a topic specifically on water, which aims to deploy in a fast manner innovative solutions for water management. The program is managed by the Malta Council for Science and Technology, which is the agency serving as the national contact point for the program.
Hello, my name is Lawrence Attard. I have worked on various different projects for FTZ and for LakeAdmin. I was involved in the beginning, in the proposal stage, and I have been following the activities and the results of the project ever since it was launched. The project itself, it brings together a number of organizations from many different countries. It is part of the Interreg 4C program, so the eligibility for that program is the whole of the European Union. And there are partners from Finland, from Malta, from Italy, from Central Europe, from Hungary, from the Czech Republic, and from Ireland as well. And all these partners are somehow associated with bodies of water in Europe, lakes. in particular. They could be natural lakes, or they could be also artificial reservoirs. And the whole idea of the project was to pick out good practices that have been carried out in the various regions that are associated with these bodies of water, and to present these best practices, these cases, to the project, and to have an exchange of these practices. And also one of the objectives of the project is to have these best practices as much as possible implemented in a region which is not the region of origin. And this, I think, the project, the LakeAdmin project, has done very successfully. There have been a number of case studies presented as best practices, which range from stakeholder involvement, from monitoring of waters for pollutants, from shoreline management, and so many other different areas as well. And all of these have been showcased in various fora, including the website itself and the websites of the partners, as well as material that has been printed and, of course, in dissemination events. This collaboration, this cooperation has, in fact, resulted in a few of these, or let's say most of these case studies to be considered for implementation, and a few of them also have been implemented in the various implementation guides and implementation plans that have been prepared by each partner. So each partner, besides contributing to the pool of good practices, also adopted some of the good practices in an implementation plan that everybody had to do within their own context. And in fact, FTZ has chosen to implement a few of the good practices in an implementation plan for the rehabilitation of the Chadwick Lakes area. I would conclude to say that overall the LakeAdmin project has actually achieved all of its objectives, especially in terms of the exchange of these good practices. And we have very, very favorable comments also from the lead partner and also from the managing authority of the program that are actually have given a good certificate to the success of the project in reaching its aims of exchanging and adopting and creating this pool of knowledge from the practically all the corners of the European Union.
During this event, the LakeAdmin event, we are analyzing the availability and quality of potable water. So, as part of this project, the LakeAdmin project, we are having a look at the availability, the quality and the management of potable water. There is a speculation that the availability of water which can be used, will not be available in the next 20 years. This is a very worrying thing because potable water is very, very important, even more important than fossil fuel or petroleum. So within this project we are finding ways by which we can promote the better use of water, manage water better, produce water at a better quality, and also the utilization and quality of water in soil. All of these factors affect us whatever we do every day.
Malta is a challenging place where to manage the water research because it's one of the top 10 countries where for the scarcity of the water. There is a very high level of population density, and so a very low level of groundwater research. The exploited of the water makes Malta in a situation to decide where is the best solution to solve this problem, and they decide to implement, for example, 3 desalinization plants, and they are the 57% of the water that we are using now in Malta. And there are a lot of European projects to manage the water and to recharge, for example, recharge the aquifers, because this is an opportunity to use the raining water, to use the wastewater by wastewater treatment plants to recharge aquifer, to use for the second water for agriculture and so on. In my opinion, should be evaluated several technologies, like, for example, the possibility to keep water from the air, because the air here is very rich of water, the humidity is very high, and there is some solutions that combine it, for example, the wind energy plants with systems to keep water from the air by condensation system and so on. And this is my opinion. I would like just to send a message. And there are a lot of possibility to optimize the water system, macro system and micro systems, and several microsystems in agriculture, for example, can be used. Now I have in the mind the aquaponic system, that is a way to produce fish and vegetables with the same water, but there are several systems, and I want to highlight that Malta can be a very interesting place to have a test bed for other countries where the scarcity of the water is important.
L-ilma Malta huwa skars. Li kieku ma kienx il-reverse osmosis għal Malta, aħna nkunu veru batuti. Per eżempju, il-reverse osmosis huwa qed jipproduċi n-nofs l-ilma tal-konsum li ġenera mill-ilma tal-pjan. Għalhekk huwa wieħed irid jagħmel attenzjoni kif juża l-ilma wise. Plus hekk l-ilma għaw Malta huwa tant huwa skars li nofs isu daqs nofs metru ilma fis-sena jagħmel, mhux bħal pajjiżi oħra l-ilma huwa abbundanti ħafna. Għalhekk kull qatra l-ilma tot ħafna. Wieħed irid jagħmel ekonomija kemm jista' jkun ħalli wieħed isibu għall-futur. Għalhekk wieħed irid iġib qudiem għajneh l-ilma mhuwiex infinit biex ngħidlek, huwa finit. Jekk wieħed ma jibżax għall-ilma ikun jista' jbagħat il-konsegwenzi.